always have been curious with addiction when the point comes that you start doing it when you're alone. Smoking with friends and then starting to buy your own cigarettes. If it doesn't feel really weird to smoke on your own the first times. Ooh, that's a difficult one. Do you want to go first?
So the question is, when do you start?
Yeah, what's the
point
when you start doing it when you're alone? That's and if it doesn't really feel weird to smoke on your own the first times.
You start doing it alone is always on a low point in your life, or one of the lower points, because you enjoy smoking with your friends, you have a good time and you want to enhance that feeling. But if you only did it with friends, you keep that connection between having a good time with friends and the substance. But when you use a substance on your own, you create a different kind of feeling, because you don't have that connection with your friends, and you have to start enjoying yourself. But then you are with your own feelings and with your own thoughts, and I think it's more difficult to enjoy.
No, I think I think that's very true what you're saying. I think it goes back a bit to what we were. Oh, my PC can't handle all the programming. I think it goes back a bit to what we were talking about before. The first stage is enhancing of situations where usually you're with friends, and the first time you do these drugs, it kind of elevates the happiness and the joy that you're feeling at that moment. But I think once you're comfortable enough with that, you're gonna try this on your own to try to enhance and better situations that you don't have the control about. For example, if you had a bad exam or something, you will maybe try to smoke and feel and try to hide the feeling that you had there. That
to alleviate the pain or something.
Yeah, and I think that's the point where you're starting to smoke on your own, because you're not confronting the negative things, and you think something like a drug will make it a positive or better. And I think maybe that's where you are more right before, that it actually enhances the bad situation. It's not making it less, but it becomes like a mechanism to try to cope with bad things, I think. And for me, that was the point, I think, where I started smoking on my own. Trying to cope with
one of the points in our life when we were smoking and not feeling good, and maybe give an example to the situation.
So I think for me, when it really got out of control, is the first year I was in Leuven. I was, so to give a little bit of a reference, I skipped a class in the third elementary school. So I was always 1 year before, I was always the youngest in the year. And when I graduated, I was actually the first one of my friends to go to university. I was alone. I had some friends, but they were in Antwerp. Basically, I was feeling pretty much alone in Leuven, and as any first year, it's pretty hard, especially at the exam periods. And I think for me, how I remember it, this can be totally wrong, that I maybe started before, but how I see it for me was at the point where I started getting really addicted. Because I was smoking when I was alone. I knew this could be helping me for coping with it. Also, just gaming was combined with it, so I gamed and I smoked a lot that year. But if I look back on it, it was not really a year I did a lot of things. It was just a year that went by. So if I had to pinpoint a moment, I would say it was for me that moment. Also, bad exams was like not a good one. That's why I used it as an example before.
And then that's the moment you start smoking more and try to alleviate the pain of being alone. And
yeah, I think so.
it's a
And
way of coping with your problems, and it's, I think, a normal way to do, and we do it. Everybody does it, but
yeah, I think it's
one
one
way
of
or
the easiest way to cope, sir, to cope. So obviously it's one of the, yeah, the easy ones, and I think a lot of people fall into this trap. What was your realization or your moment, you think, or do you have a moment that you think
pretty
of?
similar to your first experience. I think it was the last year of my 6th year of college, and it was an hour or two before I had to take um, um, a modeling exam, and I just smoked a big doobie, and I was totally fucked up. And I still graduated with good points, but I think that moment was really like, am I going to pass this or not? I'm not really caring about it. And then 1 hour before I had to take the test, I sobered up a little bit, and I got my head together. But otherwise, I would be in a lot of problems. And it was just a way of coping with the stress I had then, with home, with work. And then a year later, I went to university, and I didn't know that many people in my richting.
In your
And, yeah, in my class.
yeah, in your
And
class.
so every midday, I just smoked alone in the city center.
Damn,
Not
I didn't know
not
this about you, that you were actually like
Yeah,
this
but
solo
we
smoker.
learn new stuff about each other,
Yeah, it's true.
and it took the better part of half a year to start learning new people and to connect with other people from my class to get out of that situation. And then I just made the click, and I said, no, I'm not gonna smoke no weed anymore, and I got out of the situation. But it's a mental game.
And then that's why you said before you don't think one addiction can go away. That's where the cigarette started, or how do I see that?
Then I started smoking more cigarettes, and it was not like much, but steadily on smoking a little bit more and more and more. And now, when I'm at the point when I'm smoking like 3 packs a week, sometimes 4. It's not little, it's a little bit much.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. At some point, you have to acknowledge that it got way out of control, and
Yeah.
I think we are at that point. Well, if I hear you talking, it seems like are in the same position, I think. Different substance though. So I don't know what's more difficult, but I think cigarettes is a pretty difficult one. So,
Yeah, it's not easy.
especially with the socially acceptable. Well, you can smoke pretty much any time you want. Like, there's no one gonna be looking weird at you or like.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a pretty difficult one.